Hello guys, my name is Daphne and I'm in charge of performing the problems 11, 12, and 13. I hope it's not confusing having them this way, but I'm gonna go along on each of them. So, on the first problem, in which the 11, is it asking us for the income statement? And something that helps me remember what I need to enter, it's what's the income, so we have to think on two things in this case, in which is the revenue and the expense. In the problem that you're gonna see, you have to enter this since the for the month. Okay, you have to enter the revenue. You need to select revenue, and this is the information that is giving us. So like I mentioned, we have to focus on revenue and expenses. So in this chart that I have here on the left side, the only revenue that is showing or that they're giving us is a consulting revenue. Okay, so that's what we're gonna put here, and along with the amount. Okay, put it right here. Okay, now automatically I already formatted this with forms, so the total revenues is $26,092.20. Okay, and for the expense as well, we're just gonna be checking this. We're gonna be viewing this on the bottom where it says expense, so we're gonna enter as well the rent there for the expense, the rent, the salary, the telephone expense, and the miscellaneous expense. And well, let me add the numbers. I put the wrong one. There. So once we have this information, we're gonna have the total expense, in which is the total sum of these expenses, in which is 16,000. And the income, we will obtain the income subtracting the revenue minus the expense. So this is our number. Okay, and this will be for the question 11. Now with this income, for the next question is linked, so you're gonna see the same numbers and along with the same question. Now, I'm gonna move down. Okay. So as you see, automatically, because I have the form, I put here a form that the income will show over here automatically. But in your end, in the exam, you have to enter the month, in which it will be for the month ended on December 31, for the retained earnings for December 1st. Now, here is important to read the instructions, we can say, and it says that the operation starts on December 1st. So they don't have any retained earnings before the first day, so we have to put a 0 here. Okay, and then we have what is the income, which we obtain it from the income statement. Okay, and then in this case we're gonna put less, and it's because of the dividends. Now you don't have to put a minus, okay, because it's already here detailed that is less. So you just need to enter the amount. So I'm gonna copy this and paste it. Okay, and like I mentioned, I have the formula, and well, here's the answer for the final answer for the question 12, in which we end with the retained earnings by December 31. Now, this question as well is linked with the following, the question 13. So on question 13, let me just put here, we see here that is retained earnings. Just gonna click here. So we already have that and we don't get confused. Okay. So for the question 13 as well, all this, you have to manually enter the information. Okay. The only thing I have to change here is that it's not this. It's just December 31. Okay. So here is well, it's not the income state. I'm sorry. This is the balance sheet. Okay. So in the balance sheet, we have the asset, the liability, and the equity. Okay. So now for this, we're going to be working on the first information that we have from the data. So for the cash, it's 25,270. Oh, it's not typing. 25,270. Okay. The account receivable is 22,280. Oh, it's not typing. 22,280. The office supplies, 5,150. The equipment, 1910. And the land, 43,940. Okay. So here I have this, the total. Okay. Let me see. I wanted to put it like in counting, but just remember that when you're doing this like in Excel, it's not that much important, like for in here in the middle or in the where you're gathering the information, to have like the dollar sign, but in your totals it is important. So I cannot find it. I'm using sheets from Google instead of Excel. Well, let me continue. For the account payable, or I'm sorry, for the liabilities, we have account payable, and this is the only information we are having from the data they're giving us. So it's only here account payable, and the amount is 1070. Okay, the next it's equity, and we have here the common stock. Which is right here, like all the information I'm gathering from the data. Okay, and well, the retained earnings, we obtained this from the retained earnings statement that we previously done on question 12, and then we'll automatically you obtain the total liability and equity, adding this the liability and the equity, just as the name says. Now now that I have you here, I'm just gonna go back to the questions. Okay, so you might be seeing this. Now I want you to see where like I mentioned, like there's some parts that you have to enter the information, and then some parts that you don't. So if you see more space, it's just to trick you. It's just that. But you have to remember what are the assets, what of the information that they're giving us are assets, and what is liability, and wasn't counted as equity. And this is how, as well, for the question 12, like I said, that you might see like extra space. It's just like, I think it's just to trick us. And question 11, here it is. And it's the same numbers and everything as how I did it on the Excel. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you learned, or this can help you identify what you need to enter in these questions. Now, just as the professor said, not all of us have the same questions. You might see this at the beginning of the quiz, or in the middle, maybe like me in the end. You might see some numbers different, but always remember, what is the income statement? It's the revenue and expense. Okay, the retained earnings statement, you have to compare the net income minus the dividend. Okay, and you obtain the retained earning of the month or the year, depending on what it is. And then for the balance sheet, remember that is assets, liability, and equity. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause this video. Hope this helps you, and any questions, let me know. Thank you.